this week. As you can see, we stood up, we're doing something different. Obviously the diet Ronnie Coleman. This is the evening before I'm going to be doing the diet. So I'm just going to tell you what's on the diet, where I'm going to be getting it from. So I've got it loaded up here on the phone. This is from fitnessvault.com. So if you've got any disputes from any other websites, that is the website I've got it from. According to this, 5 different meals. Meal number 1 is 2 cup of egg whites, 3/4 cup of grits and cheese, and a coffee. I'm going to tell you straight up, I've never had a grits. From a little bit of research I've done before this, I'm just going to have a bowl of porridge instead with a bit of cheese. Coffee, my body don't handle coffee that well, so I'm just going to replace that with a strong tea. And 2 cups of egg whites. 2 cups of egg whites it is. I'm going to find out what the standard measurement for a cup is and work that out into millilitres or grams. Meal number 2 is 16-ounce chicken breast. From the chicken breasts I've got, and I've already weighed that out, it's 2 chicken breasts of mine. 1 3/4 cups of red beans and brown rice. I'll be swapping that out for white rice just because brown rice is an absolute extortion where I live. And 1 3/4 cups of red beans. Oh, I'm tired. I'm just gonna a tin of red beans will do for that. I've checked measurements and all that stuff. And 2 pieces of cornbread with that. I've never had a cornbread, so I'm just gonna have a look, see if I can find that at the shop. Otherwise, find a suitable replacement. Meal number 3, another 16-ounce chicken breast with 1 medium baked potato. I do quite like baked potatoes, so that's going to be a nice meal. Meal number 4 is 9-ounce fillet of mignon, which I've had a look is just a piece of steak, like a different cut of beef. So I'm just going to find a cut of beef that's pretty similar to it. 5 ounces chicken breasts, that's just some very small chicken. Medium baked potatoes, fries and lemonade. I'm going to get some diet lemonade for that. And fries, I'm just going to have probably a large baked potato instead. That'll do the same thing. I did say a 5th meal, but that is just 4 scoops of protein after a workout. So I'm going to make sure I get all that in. But for the stuff that I don't already have in the house, I'm going straight out to Aldi, down the road near my house. And then I'll see you tomorrow morning. Well, I'm going to have all the meals cooked and prepped tonight. But I'm very tired, as you can tell by this. I'm not going to record that. I'm going to be falling asleep while I'm cooking. But yeah, I'll see you tomorrow. Alright, so here we are, the morning after I'd recorded that stuff. We've got the egg whites. I know you can buy egg whites separate, like you can buy a complete container or like plastic bottle of egg whites. I know they sell them down at the gym I train at, but they're quite expensive, so I just decided to separate the yolk the best I can and use yolks for some other meal at some point tomorrow. But yeah, I used about 6 eggs, just the whites to make that. Moving on, the bit of cheese. It don't say how much cheese, so I've gone for about 100 grams, give or take. I think it's just like normal mature cheddar cheese. And it said something like grits, which from what I could find was like this weird sort of white thing that some like oats that you add milk to, so I just thought, oh, sounds similar to porridge, so I just chucked in a sachet of cheap porridge with a bit of skimmed milk. I know he does have a coffee, but I switched it for a tea just because I prefer teas and I don't really enjoy coffees. Another thing to note in the morning, it does have a lot of supplements. Again, I can't really stretch to buy all them, but I'll just take the stuff I normally take. It does obviously take potentially some of his steroids, which I'm obviously not going to take as well. But that's about it. That's breakfast. We've got a cheese, got our substitute for whatever it were, grits, and we've got our egg whites with tea instead of black coffee. Alright, so it's time for the next meal. Here I've got, it's 1 cup of rice, which I weighed out to be like 200 grams when it was uncooked, and a tin of red beans. Mix that all in nice there. got 16 ounce of chicken breast. This was the frozen chicken breast you get, just cook that nice, half an hour. Then it said he had cornbread. I couldn't find any cornbread at all. I've never heard of it. So I've just got some wheat bread instead, make sure it's brown bread, a lot more healthier. So that's full meal number 2. I'm sure now good to do a workout after this. It's perfect pre-workout meal. Before, this has got plenty of carbs and protein, exactly what you want. From what I've noticed, his diet contains very little fat. It is very heavy on carbs and protein. Obviously, it's got to be heavy on protein for, obviously, muscle growth. But if you look at a lot more modern day bodybuilders, they try to keep low on carbs. Whereas people from like 20 to 25, 30 years ago, they were a lot more with the lower fat and higher carbs, which is what I tend to go for on a day-to-day basis. Just something I've noticed from looking at that. So this is about 3.5, maybe 4 hours after the first meal. With there being 5 meals throughout the day, I'm going to try and space them out with a similar sort of gap. Boom. So post-workout, we're straight on with meal number 3, which is another 16 ounce of chicken breast. Again, it's the same stuff I was using earlier on. And we've got a baked potato. Again, just a normal baked potato that you can buy out of a tater sack. Just got a big sack of taters. I do quite like taters. They're a very good substitute for just any carb. I know looking at the next meal in the day, Ronnie did have another tater again, and he had some fries. Because I like to try and keep my diet clean, I am having this day not following my typical diet. I'll be swapping the fries just for an extra baked potato, just because they're very clean food, and like I said, I do like a clean diet. But other than that, tuck into this meal, and I'll be back with the next review for the last meal of the day. We've got our... I got no clue what meat them were. I think it was like a sort of like a part of the cow. So I've just got some ground beef instead. Obviously this time it's a lot less chicken, only a 5 ounce chicken. So I've got both my meats there. It did say it had lemonade, which very surprised me. So I did get a bit of diet lemonade. I don't normally drink fizzy pop, but I thought it's pretty much calorie free, so it'll be fine. Obviously that's the meat, and just cooking now in the microwave. I'm finishing off the potatoes. It says potato and fries, but I do like eating clean, so I'm just substituted that in for a jacket potato again. I'll just carry that on now. Another minute and 30 should do that. But that's it for this meal. The only other meal left now is 4 scoops of protein in a protein shake. I'll have that just before bed. Make sure protein's going around the body through the night. But other than that, that's been it for this week. So that said, I'd like to thank you for joining me again this week. It's been something different. I've not really altered my diet that much before. Obviously this is just for the one day, but it's been different. It's been very different food from what I normally have. The only meat I'd have is chicken and maybe a little bit of fish. I'd never have beef at all, or pork, or lamb, or any other meat other than chicken and a bit of fish. Carb wise, I normally stick to rice. I do have potatoes quite frequently, so that's been pretty similar. Vegetable wise, it lacks very much in vegetables, and from I forget what podcast it were on, but there were podcasts where we were on, and even when I were cutting, he said he didn't like eating vegetables because he just don't like vegetables. So I mean, fair dues, but there was some red beans in earlier, so you get some vegetables in, which I'd normally eat the sort of bean type vegetables. I like beans and peas are my main ones that I like at the moment. But other than that, like I said, thank you for joining me. I'll be putting a lift of the week on probably Monday, the day after this goes live. But yeah, like I said, make sure you're watching Lift of the Weeks. Like a lot more views are coming on them recently. All of them are well into the 200, 300s. They seem to be a lot more popular than the longer ones I'm doing, but that is what it is. I'd just like to address a comment on that, on one of the Lifts of the Week, just because I found it so funny. One of the ones, I think it was sorry. I think it was the one where I was bench pressing £400 for 2 reps. Yeah, so someone was saying on there how it's one blue on each side is that's 60 kilos, not 180. So just it made me laugh when I saw that comment. So if you watch it, if the person that put that, you're definitely not watching this because you've not watched any other of my content. You're just trying to shoot me down for no reason. But like I said, it was just so funny when I saw that. I woke up one morning and I saw that and I thought, oh Jesus, it was just super funny. Just that it deserves a shout out, that bit. And thank you to all the people in there that were defending me. Yeah, I am tested, obviously. IPF lifter. I'm British champion with her 2 years in a row in the sub-junior category, sub-junior 66 that is. I've got so many British championships with them, so many British records as well. So obviously you don't know me that much if you're going to say I'm untested. I've done multiple drug tests. I think I'm up to 3 drug tests at the moment I've done before. So there we go then. Like, one more time, just thank you for joining me. Next week we'll be doing something a bit more normal, I'd imagine. Rather than eating different foods or not. So yeah, make sure you tune in next week. I'm going to try and keep the schedule out, getting them out on Sundays. But yeah, until then, keep watching the Lifts of the Week and keep lifting that big weight.